Welcome to the Connect with Truesight webinar series. During today's event, you'll be able to ask questions of our panelists. The questions and answers, along with today's broadcast, will be posted to our YouTube channel. Today's topic is TSSA Patch Management Best Practices. We have Rohit Sharma and Oscar Rosales to take us through this content. I'll turn it over to Oscar.
Thank you, Greg. Hi, everybody. My name is Oscar Rosales. I am a Senior Technical Support Analyst, and I have been working on the BMC Server Automation team for 5 years now. In this webinar, we will be talking about patching for Redhat 8, Solaris 11, and AIX, best practices and troubleshooting. Truesight Server Automation, formerly known as BladeLogic Server Automation, allows users to quickly and securely provision, configure, patch, and maintain physical, virtual, and cloud servers. Among the key use cases of TSSA is patch management. With Truesight Server Automation, patch administrators analyze individual servers to determine which patches must be acquired and installed to comply with organizational standards. Truesight Server Automation automates the process of building and maintaining a patch repository, analyzing target servers, and, if necessary, packaging and deploying patches. With the release of Redhat 8, it got introduced significant patch management changes in RHEL 8. DNF, which is Dandified Jump, is the new generation of Jump. It supports the same arguments, but is faster and does a better job with library dependencies. The modular RPMs is a set of RPM packages that represent a component. It allows multiple versions of packages are available in the system, so it can have different versions of the same package to support legacy applications using different versions. RHEL content is distributed through two main repositories, the base OS and the Appstream channels. There are a few requirements for creating an RHEL patch catalog in TSSA 21.x. The repository server must be an RHEL 8 server, and for creating the catalog, we have to add as a baseline the base OS and the Appstream channels. As mentioned earlier, with the introduction of the modular packages in the new Redhat 8 version, we open the possibility of having different issues while performing patching activities using TSSA. Even when a target is marked as successful in our remediation job, we will see these type of error messages: modular dependency problems, conflicting requests. This means that in the catalog, we don't have available the packages needed to complete the installation of the modular packages. The most common, another issue that we can see is while reviewing the logs in the repo server, we can see this type of error messages. It didn't find any channels that contains modular metadata, so it is skipping this step. In order to resolve these kind of issues in TSSA, we need to go back and add the Appstream channel in our catalog. For other operating systems, we used to add only the main channel, but in this case, it's almost mandatory to add the Appstream channel. Once we have added the channel and click on the green plus, we have to save the catalog, and we need to run a catalog update job. It will take some time to run because it has to download all the modular packages. After we run this step and it is completed, we will see in the same log, we will see that at this time it found the Appstream channel and is appending the modular metadata for our catalog. And now the packages should be available. Once we have done this, we can go back and execute a new patch analysis and remediation. So in this case, we will see that the deploy run, it's gonna come completely successful. We don't have the same conflict issues while performing this step. Another possibility of presenting this issue is if we are using a repository server that is not Red Hat 8. It's almost mandatory to have the modular packages use a Red Hat 8 server as a repo server for our catalog. In case you face this issue or you observe any problems, it is very important for you to share the BL deploy logs from the target itself so we can see what was the cause of this problem. If you present this issue, please open a case with the support team and we will be able to help you. Thank you. In TSSA 21.x, the Solaris 11 patch management uses a script-based solution. This is different than the method that we used to have available for Solaris 10 patch management. The installer script creates two NSH scripts and an extended object. The Solaris 11 patch repository update script, which is in charge of downloading the patches and make it available in the repository. The Solaris 11 patching script, which performs analysis and remediation, and the extended object for viewing the patch analysis results. There are a few tasks that the TSSA administrator have to perform. One is run the installer script, create the two NSH scripts, and execute the NSH script for updating the repository and performing the analysis and remediation. Before starting with the demo of our Solaris 11 patching solution, I would like to take a couple of minutes to mention the terminology that will be useful through this webinar. A package is a term that basically refers to a method of distributing and installing software products to a system. The SRU, which are released by Oracle every month to provide features, enhancement, and bug fixes. A boot environment is a bootable instance of the Solaris operating system image plus any other application software packages. Alternate boot environments can be created to manage updates made to a system. The ABEs are inactive environments that are not currently booted. And the IPS are integrated solution that helps to automate and ease the complexity of managing system Oracle on Solaris 11 by integrating patching with package updates. Since the Solaris 11 patching solution is not an out-of-the-box component, we have to make sure that we download in our application server the TSSA optional components. Once we have downloaded the component, we have to extract and copy to the application server. Once it is in the application server, we have to install the NSH script using the following parameters: user, role, and default and profile. And we have to give the password. It will take a couple of seconds to validate the credentials, and once it acquires it, it will start creating the scripts in the application server. Once the process is completed, we can go to the console, expand the depot, and we will see a new folder called Solaris 11 Patching Solution. It contains two scripts, the Solaris 11 Patching and the Solaris 11 Update repository. As part of the prerequisites to install and configure the Solaris Patching solution, we have to access the Oracle site and log in with our own credentials. Once we are in, we have to click on the Certificate tab and download the key and the certificate. These two files must be available on the repository server, so the script that is in charge of downloading the patches is able to connect to the Oracle repositories and get the patches to make it available for the Oracle solution. To update the repository, we need to create an NSH script job. Let's give a name and select a location where the job is going to be stored. The target is the server which will perform as repository for the patch catalog. The repository location is the location in the repo server where the payload is going to be stored. The source location is the Oracle site from where the IPS packages are going to be downloaded. The Oracle key and certificate to authenticate and connect to the source location. the cache directory to resume any interrupted downloads, the number of retry in case the download is interrupted, and finally, the package to update in case you want to create any filters. The job can be configured with a schedule or to execute immediately. After click on the Finish button, the download process will start. Once the job is created, it will execute the package receive command using the parameters we set during the job creation. It may take some time to be completed. The packages that have not changed are not republished. Therefore, the time to update the repository depends on the number of new and changed packages. Once the job is completed, we can see in the job results all the packages that were downloaded and published in the repo server. In case of any failure, we can view and export the log package using the download log package utility. We need to select a location to save the package and give a name for it. In the next screen, we need to select the target where the job was executed and move it to the right. It will take a couple of minutes to be completed, as it may export all the files from all the targets that are involved. A zip file will be created in the selected location. It will contain the RCD log from the repo server, the application server logs, application server status, and an extract of the executed job. The second part of the demo consists in creating the patch analysis job. We will create it from the Solaris 11 patching script. We have to give a meaningful name, Solaris 11 patching. We have to select the target against where the job is going to be executed. And the parameters list is a really important part of this job. The debug mode allows us to decide if we want to enable or not enable the debug mode for this analysis. The script can be executed in 3 different ways: analysis only, packaging only, and analysis and packaging. The script location is going to be set by default in the same place where the script got installed. The analysis mode is configurable to be update or install mode. Update will be updating only the packages that are already installed in the system, and install will install the packages that are not still installed but are present in the repo server. The publisher name, we can configure more than one publisher, so we need to make sure that this one matches the configuration file that is present in the scripts directory from the same location where we stored the Solaris solution. In this case, it is using only the same repository that we set up in the first step. The analysis filter is in case that you want to include specific patches only for the install mode. The analyzer timeout, that is going to be the time that you will allow the job to run. In case it runs for some more time than the one that is scheduled, it will be interrupted. And the auto execute deploy job will allow you to permit the job to execute the deploy right after the patch analysis is complete. I want to execute the job just now, so I will check this box and finish to start the job. It may take a couple of seconds to start. Once it is a start, we can just double click the task in progress and we can see that the job is actually started to run. It may take some time. Once the job is completed, we can see the results by showing the log for the job. Here we will be able to see if there was any failures while executing the job. If you want to see the results, there is an extended object that is created automatically by the same script that we can help us to identify if there is any missing patches on the system. So we have to live browse the server, open the extended objects, and select the Solaris 11 analysis results. In this case, this server didn't have any available updates for this for this zone. In case that we have any missing patches, the thing that we can do is update the currently created patch analysis and update the parameters. If we have any missing patches, we can update the mode to, instead of doing the analysis, we can select the P as the packaging. So we can save this and we need to execute again the job. It will run, and if it finds anything, it will create and execute the deploy job. Now I will turn over to Rohit.
Thank you, Oscar, and hello everyone. My name is Rohit Sharma and I'm a lead technical support analyst. I've been with BMC Customer Support Organization supporting Truesight server automation for more than 7 years now. In this section, we'll talk about AIX patching in TSSA. TSSA AIX patch management consists of the following tasks: create and update patch catalog using a catalog update job, analyze target servers to identify missing patches using a patch analysis job, deploy missing patches to the target servers via remediation, and analyzing target servers to confirm missing patches are now installed on the server post remediation. Let us now talk about the catalog update job. A patch catalog stores patches and corresponding metadata used during analysis and deploy. A repository server which holds the patch catalog for AIX must have outbound internet access, sufficient disk space, and SUMA configured. We'll talk more about this in an upcoming demo. Coming to the patch analysis job, the patch analysis job is used to identify missing patches on the server, and a remediation job is responsible for packaging and deploying those missing patches. We'll now switch to a demo where we'll see various aspects of AIX patching. Before we start talking about AIX patching using TSSA, I would like to take a moment and talk about some basic AIX terminologies which will be used at different points during the course of this webinar. Now I have this AIX patch catalog opened on the console, and let's talk about the smart groups first. File sets. A software product installation package or file set is a backup format or BFF file which contains the files of the software product, required installation control files, and optional installation customization files. A file set is the smallest individual unit that can be installed on any AIX server. Technology levels. A technology level or TL contains new hardware and software features and service updates. All the requisites are added to it so that the whole TL can be installed. Service packs. A service pack contains of service only updates that are released between technology levels. They are grouped together for easier identification. Base file sets. A base level file set are found in the base media ISO images for AIX. They are not downloaded as a part of the catalog update job, and they can be downloaded directly. You have to download it manually from the IBM Untitled System Support website. So a base file set is not downloaded as a part of the catalog update job. It has to be downloaded separately and then added in the has to be added in the catalog. We'll see how to do that in upcoming demos. So let us now see how to create a patch catalog for AIX. I'll hit new patch catalog, AIX patch catalog here. Now this is the wizard. Let's expand this. So I'll put a name here, AIX patch catalog. Now fixget, there are two download options, fixget and SUMA. So fixget is an old way of downloading patches in AIX. This has been deprecated by IBM. IBM recommends to download all the latest patches via SUMA. Now SUMA is Service Update Management Assistant. SUMA sets up an automated interface to download fixes from a fixed distribution website to your system. When you configure SUMA on a server, SUMA establishes a connection to the fixed distribution website and downloads the available service updates. The fixed distribution website is an IBM server. So when you configure Suma on a patch repository server, it connects to the IBM website and download patches. So as we discussed earlier, Suma configuration on the repository server is also a prerequisite to download the AIX patches. So I'll select the download option as Suma. So the catalog mode is online. Now I'll select the repository location, and let's say I'll just select it. Okay, here, sorry, I'll have to select a path as well. Let's say /home. So the base repository, I'll not select the base repository right now. It is not mandatory to specify a base repository location. We'll talk about it in upcoming demo. For now, I'll leave it as blank. Now the OS base version is 7.1, so you can select the OS base version from here. The available options are 7.1 and 7.2. So I'll select 7.1, click on this plus sign here, and we can add filter. So I'll not download the complete patch catalog. I'll just show you how to add it. Create it. And yeah, so once you hit the filter button, you'll get a warning that filter selected is so and so, and please make sure to add underline base TL with the same. So it gives you a warning, which is more of a notification to specify a base repository as well. You can hit OK to ignore it. So as I said, base repository is not mandatory. It is advisable to, it is recommended that you add base repository while creating a patch catalog as well, to make sure that the dependencies are resolved. But if you are confident that there is no dependency from the base file set on your AIX machine, you can just keep it as blank. So yeah, now hit job options. So these are the same job options that we have for any other patch catalog update job. I'll just hit OK and finish. So once you hit OK and finish, a catalog update job will start in the background. So in the interest of time, I have already created some patch catalogs, and I'll show you how these catalogs will look like. So if you go to the result tab and hit show log, you'll see that this is how a successful catalog update job will look like, and the results will contain the number of file sets that are added, and you'll see the list here. So this is how you create a AIX patch catalog update job. So let us now talk about the most common error that we received during an AIX patch catalog update job. So as you can see, I have opened the catalog update job results, which has failed, and this is the error message here: preview download failed, exiting script. Now this doesn't tell much about the error, so let's log into the repository server and see what are the files that are created there. So this is the repository server I have logged in, and I have cd'd to the repo location. So these are the files that get created. So let's check this download .log. So it contains the filter that you have selected and download.log. So let's cat this file and see what is the error. And here is the error. It says performing preview download and the download has failed, and the error is that the system serial number is not entitled. Please go to the Fix Central website to download fixes. So this error means that the Suma is not configured properly on this host. So as we spoke earlier, that one of the prerequisites is to ensure that the Suma is properly configured on an AIX machine. So let's check, let's see a command which checks if the Suma configuration is proper on the server or not. So this is the command suma-x-a action equals preview -a rq type equals latest. So when you run this command, it will just take 2 or 3 minutes, and if the Suma configuration is proper, it is going to give you the results of a successful preview. Otherwise it is going to throw an error. So it might take few minutes. So I've already executed this command on the host. So I'll just quickly show you the error message that you'll receive. So yeah, this is it. So if you see here, if you run this command outside of TSSA, which contains which checks if Suma is properly configured on the server or not, once you run this command, you'll see something like this. the same error you'll see here. So this means that the SUMA configuration is not proper. In fact, yeah, so this is the result of the command that I executed right now. It's also showing the same error, which means that SUMA configuration is not proper on the server. Now, if SUMA configuration is proper on the server, you'll see something like this. It will do a preview download. It will not download everything, but you'll see something like this, that it will be able to connect to the fixed central server, and you'll see something like this, that so and so patches are downloaded. If something failed, it will give you the error. So if you receive this error, the first thing that you'll have to do is ensure that the SUMA is configured properly on the server. And if the SUMA configuration is not proper, you'll have to get in touch with your AIX administrators and take help from them and configure SUMA on the repository server. Now, IBM periodically releases new service packs for each version of operating system. We have a provision in TSSA which allows users to add any newly added service pack in the catalog filter list if it is not present. Now, this is the IBM Fix Central page, which talks about the latest filter for the latest service pack for AIX 7.1 TL5. So as you can see, the latest service pack that is released for this version 7.1 TL5 is service pack 8 and build 2114. So let's see if this service pack is added in the patch is in the filter list or not. So this is my patch catalog. I'll just quickly click on this plus sign and hit service pack, and we'll go to the bottom, and the latest that I have is SP7. So I don't have anything which anything which starts with SP8. So let's see how to add the filter. So the very first thing that we need to do is we need to export an XML file. We'll edit that XML file to add the new filter, and then we'll import it back. So let's start with the simple export first. So we'll go to configuration, patch global configuration. We'll go to the AIX tab, and there is this AIX update list file, and I'll click on this button, which is going to export the existing filter. So you can select any server here in your environment and you can just download the file. So in the interest of time, I have already downloaded the file there. So I'll just go to the server, and this is the file that I have downloaded. So this is my existing file. So if I see here with this format 7100 and 508, I see nothing. So this is my original file, and I don't see that I don't see any entry for service pack 8 here. So I'll have to add it. So before adding it, let's see what is the format. So this is how the format should be when you are adding a new filter. So these are the tags. You'll have to first add the corresponding service pack without the build level and use these tags here, and then you'll have to add the corresponding service pack. So this is the format wherein the update name will be AIX service pack and V7100005082114, and this is the service pack. So we have added service pack 8 build 2114. So the first tag, the first section will contain the entry for the corresponding service pack, and the second one will download we'll have to enter the exact build number. So you can you can just edit anything that is released, any service pack that has been newly released in this format, and use any XML editor to add it in the XML file. So once you add it to the XML file, this is how it should look like. So as you can see, I've already added it here. So it is an entry for service pack 8 and then for the corresponding build number. Now what I'll have to do is I'll have to update this file on the console. So let's see how to do that. So I'll go to the console again, configuration, patch global configuration. I'll go to the AIX tab. I'll have to select the server where I've created the new file, and it's C drive. Quickly select it. So this is the file that I edited already. I'll hit OK, apply, and I'll hit OK. So once this is done, the file is saved. I'll click on the plus sign now. and I'll click on service pack, and let's go to the bottom and see the new service pack has been added. So this is how you add a new service pack which is not already in the console into the filter list. Now let's talk about how to run an AIX patch analysis job. Creation of this job is similar to other patch analysis job, and you can create a job by right clicking on the catalog and analyze using this catalog. Now I'll specify a name and location. So this is where I'm going to save the job. I'll just select any folder here, hit next. Now I'll give you a brief introduction to these options. Please refer to the official BMC documentations for details. Now analysis options. So these options indicate what to do if a file set is found in applied state on the server. The option lets you choose from either stop or continue. These can be set globally on all AIX patching jobs via patch global configuration. Now coming to the analysis mode, there are two options, update mode and install mode. Update will only scan for updates of installed file sets on the server if they are present in the catalog. Install mode is used when you want to install a file set on the server explicitly. Now upgrade install P. Now you can select the relevant options here, whether or not you want to upgrade install P on the server that you are patching, skip, apply, or apply and commit. So if you want to set, check and select any of the options, you can select from there. So install P is used to actually used to install a file set on an AIX server. Now additional install P options, if you hover the mouse here, you will see what are the available options. So these are the flags that TSSA uses in when we're installing patches via default options. So you can add additional options based on the IBM documentations, and they'll be added here. So if you want to add any additional flags, you can refer the IBM documentations and add it here. Now an efix or ifix is a short for emergency or interim fix, which is a code update that is delivered by AIX technical support to resolve a specific known problem. Now select this option if you want to run the patch analysis job when an efix or ifix is installed on the server. By default, it's not selected. Now our list mode is used if you want to run a use and include list. Otherwise, the group option is by default. Now let's hit next and see what are the deploy options. So I'll just check create remediation artifacts, and the deploy options that are exclusive for AIX are this pre-commit option. So you can choose this option to select whether or not you want to commit the already applied file sets on the target servers before the deploy is executed. So the options are commit all applied and none. Now the deploy job options, so you can use this option to control the state of file sets to be installed on the server by the existing this deploy job. So you can choose from apply and commit or apply. Now preview only, IBM allows you to install patches in preview mode. You can control the behavior using this option. So you can either install the patches in previous mode, or you can select none. Now if you want to skip targets that are in warning during analysis for remediation, you can check this option. Now deploy job options are pretty much the same for other operating systems, so I'll not talk about it. I'll just quickly show you the complete options. Next and hit finish to just create the job. Now in the interest of time, I've already executed a patch analysis job. So these are how the results look like. So it was executed against one server, and these are the file sets that are missing. This is the service pack that's been reported as missing. In the object view, you'll see a list of all the all the file sets that are there. So if you want to check the logs, just right click on show log, and it will show you the logs. Click on the server, it will show you the server specific log. Now one important thing to note here is that the download log package is not available for AIX patching jobs, and hence you need to run the job in the debug mode by specifying the debug mode option from job properties. Once the debug mode is enabled, you'll see that the location of debug logs in these job run logs. Now these debug logs are copied on the application server, so you'll have to go to the application server and the location that is specified here, and you'll get the debug logs. Now I'll quickly show you a sample here. So this is how the debug logs are going to look like. The important files are analysis.err. If there is any error, you'll see it here. The out will show you the result the output of the command that we execute during the analysis, and the actual analysis results are in this file. And yeah, this is how it generally looks like. So these are the debug logs. So the debug log folder along with the job run log, application server logs, agent logs are required by BMC support to troubleshoot any patch analysis failure issues. So in case you are not able to figure out the problem yourself and you need to raise a case, please provide these logs. The debug log folder, job run log, application server logs, and the agent logs. So we talked about the analysis result. This is how a successful deploy job looks like, and the logs for the deploy run are usually stored in BL deploy logs and the BL target job manager on the target server. It is similar to any other deploy job in TSSA. I want to talk about a very specific use case here. So when we were discussing about the patch catalog update, we talked about this base repository location, but we didn't know. I mean, I didn't show you how do we use it, or what are the use cases where we use it. So a base repository is basically, this base repository location is basically an ISO image, which we download from the IBM portal, and we extract the files which are in that ISO, and we specify the location here. Now sometimes what happens when we are patching with an AIX operating system, that when you're downloading patches from Suma, from Fix Central, you only get the updates, but the base patches which are in the ISO image, they are not downloaded when we are downloading patches via Suma. So you have to download an ISO image specifically, and you have to specify it here. So this is these ISO image or the patches that get extracted, they are not downloaded as a part of the catalog update job. Now a simplest use case would be that let's say if you are trying to patch your server from let's say AIX 7.1 TL4, and you want to patch a TL4 server to TL5, then in some of the cases where on operating system, if all the dependencies are not met, you might need to specify a base file set. Now if you're going from TL4 to TL5, the base file set that is going to be selected in that scenario usually is the TL5 base file set. So if you're running into if you're running a patch analysis wherein you find that there is a dependency problem, you are seeing some dependency related errors and or warnings, and you want to specify a base file set, your your administrator tells you that okay, we might need patches from base file set in this while patching certain operating systems, then we'll have to ask them to download those base file set. Now those base file sets are generally ISO image. Well, I'll quickly show you what it looks like. So your AIX administrator should know how to download it. So these are the ISO image that gets downloaded. So we have to extract BFF file sets out of these ISO. So I'll quickly show you the commands. I'll not run the commands right now because it usually takes some time. So it is a pretty straightforward command. This is the loop mount command, which mounts the ISO. So what we'll do is there are two ISOs. So one ISO is divided into two parts. So as the name suggests here, it is DVD image 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. So it's a one image that is divided into two parts. So we'll run this loop mount command -i, which is specifying the ISO, and -o to specify the output. These are the options, and we'll run this command one by one on both the ISOs, and we'll mount it. So I've selected the mount point /mnt1 and /mnt2 for both the ISO. So for first ISO is /mnt1, and for second one it is /mnt2. So once you run this command, this is how here, as you can see at the bottom, this is how the ISO image would look like. It will create two mount points which will contain all all the data that's there in the ISO or all the patches that are there in the ISO. Now, once those mount points are created, we need to generate the BFF files out of these specific mount points. So this is the command that we'll use, BFF create -d, which is the place where the file system where we have mounted the ISO /MNT1, and the target where it will extract it. So for each mount point there are 2 images, so we created 2 mount points. We'll run BFF create, and we'll dump the data in a single folder. Now in this case I have specified data 72_base, and all means you are extracting all the BFF for all the patches that are there in the ISO, or all the file sets that are there in the ISO. So we'll run this command one by one. So when you run this command on the folder where you want to dump all this is the files. This is the file structure that will be created. You will see 2 folders, install P and USR. So inside install P, you'll see this PPC folder. So this is how the structure looks like usually, and these are all the patches that the BFF files that get created. Now you can just ignore this AIX_metadata_generator file here, because it's created because I ran a patch catalog update using the base file set. So it gets created after you run the catalog update job. So once you run the BFF create command, this file will not get created. It is only created once you run the catalog update job. So once you have extracted the file set, this is the location. Please keep in mind that we'll have to, so when we are specifying this path in the patch catalog, we have to ensure that we are specifying the path where the BFF files are extracted. So it's still this PPC here. So I'll show you on the catalog here. So so as you can see here, this is the whole path that I have specified: data 72_base, install P and PPC, because this is where my patches are extracted or file sets are extracted. And once you specify it and put the details, you just have to run a catalog update job. Now once you run the catalog update job, initially you won't see anything in the base file sets. So even if the catalog update job is successful, this base file set smart group will be empty. So we populate the base file set smart group only if when you're running the analysis and we find that some of the patches from the base file sets are missing. So if you run the analysis and the analysis job identifies that some of the patches from the base file sets are actually required on the server, then you will see that the base file set is actually populated. So in the first scenario, in this patch catalog, I have just created the patch catalog. I never ran a patch analysis job. So this base file set smart group is empty here. But the second one, in this demo, I have used this patch catalog to run a couple of jobs, and on some servers, I saw that the base file set patches were missing. So we see these patches here. This brings us to the end of the demo. BMC support has created several troubleshooting guides based on commonly raised support cases. I would like to take a moment and introduce you to the section in the BMC documentation reserved for troubleshooting guides. Look for the troubleshooting section at the top level and drill down to see these guides. These are some of the links from BMC documentation which were referenced during the webinar. With this, we conclude the presentation. We discussed about patch management best practices for Redhat 8, Solaris 11 and AIX, along with troubleshooting some of the basic problems. We hope you found the webinar helpful, and I will now hand over to Greg to talk about self-help and other things.
Thank you. And now I'll take us through the self-help and contacting BMC. The YouTube channel where this webinar will be posted is available at this link. It contains past webinars as well as a rich set of how-to videos. The Connect with Truesight webinar schedule that contains future webinars as well as our past webinars is available at this communities link. Also, the Hot Off the Press newsletter contains trending information. And to contact technical support via web, phone, email, as well as these social channels are available through these links. That will conclude our session today. Thank you for attending.